So I finally got a little snow. It's not much, just a skiff of snow, but it's beautiful. It's really pretty. It fell during the night, so I only got to peek out the window and see it. I didn't get to watch those wonderful flakes falling, which not a whole lot fell, but it's still beautiful, and I'm so excited about it. I'm going to just stog around in the yard. I might go down to the creek and see what it looks like down there, just to see how pretty it is and enjoy it. Heavy snow is supposed to portend a good growing season. It's like a sign, so if it snows a lot, this is not a heavy snow, but maybe it'll help the growing season a little bit at least. Right here, isn't this pretty? You can see we use these logs for our raised bed, and these are little, I'll rub that off of that one, little mushrooms or lichens or whatever that's growing on it. Isn't it pretty how the snow covered them? There's something so special about getting to walk in snow that's not been disturbed yet. If you think the snow looks kind of funny right through here, it kind of looks like it's been plowed or something. That's where Matt's emptied our last batch of ashes from the wood stove. Even though Christmas has only been over a few days now, and we're not really done with all of our holiday celebrations, I'm anxious already about the garden. So seeing all this snow out here and seeing how pretty the garden is makes me anxious to start thinking about next year's summer green beans and tomatoes and squash and zucchini when the hot sun will be beaming down and everything will be growing. You can see some of the furry friends have been out this morning. Come over here and look at this. I love how the tree, the snow, how it just cocooned itself down in there. And look, a spider web is holding the snow. Isn't that amazing? So pretty. Even in these little cracks right here, little bark cracks, the snow put itself right in there, right in there. So lovely. Amazing how snow does that. The snow around the creek is so beautiful, and you can see this whole little layer of ice that's formed. It's because we've had this bitter cold weather that lots of people have had. I think the lowest we got down to was 1 or 2 one morning. I don't remember if it's 2 degrees or 1 degrees. Anyway, so it's not been that cold in a long time. But I can remember when Paul and I were little, probably in the 70s sometime, it was cold for so long that winter and so much snow that the creek literally froze over thick enough that Paul and I thought we had a little ice skating ring. We'd get on it and scoot around with our shoes and our boots and act like it was an ice skating ring. As you can see, it wasn't a very big one, but it's been many years since I've seen the creek freeze to that extent. But even this little bit of ice is unusual. But that was, as most of the people that suffered that cold weather in the last week, that was the coldest weather that we'd had in many years. even though it's warmed up a lot from that 2 degrees that we had a few mornings ago, it's still pretty chilly out here. So now that I've stogged around and looked at all the snow, I'm going to go back in and sit by the wood stove. If you look close, you can see the smoke coming out of our chimney up there. I think I'm going to sit by there and get me some of Corie's eggnog. Maybe Corie will join me, and we'll talk about some snow terms from Appalachian language. So I've got Corie sitting with me by the fire. She made some eggnog. Actually, you had to make 2 runs of eggnog. We've really enjoyed it this year. It tastes like a vanilla milkshake, really, to me. It's so good. So we got her to make another run. She was going to, and I said, why don't you double it this time? So we'll have plenty for everybody. But I was interested to see, thinking about the snow, the Dictionary of Southern Appalachian English is the 2nd edition from the Dictionary of Smoky Mountain English that I've had for so many years. So I was anxious to see if it was different, if their snow entries were different. And it is a little bit different. A lot of the same ones, but a few different ones. But I was going to get Corie to go over them with me. Let's see if I can find snow, where it starts with. Well, it starts with just the word snow. But then it says there's other past tense forms, snood and snood. I've never heard nobody say snood. Have you? Snowed, but not snood, not with the E. 1915, Polar, Tennessee Mountains. It snowed yesterday. And then 1997, Montgomery, it was known to Bush, when Michael Montgomery must have interviewed, and it was known to Bush. The second one is snowball. 1972, Carr, oldest profession. The beginning of fermentation causes agitation within the worm, and such action is noted by bubbling and gaseous action in the mash barrels. Bubbles are called snowballs by some moonshiners. So that's interesting. Never heard that before. Of course, I'm not a moonshiner, nor have I been around any. Of course, we all know we love to throw snowballs when it snows, but it also makes me think of the old saying. I know Corie's heard her daddy probably say it, but if you're eating something and maybe it's not, you're not sitting down to a steak dinner, maybe it's just beans and cornbread or something, you could say, well, it's better than a snowball, because a snowball wouldn't be very nutritious. Yeah. Or help you, or be good to eat either, if that's all you had to eat. Pretty much anything, if you think about food-wise, even if you had a bologna sandwich, would beat a snowball. So, a snowbird, the Carolina junco, I don't know, junco.
How's it spelled?
It's a bird, J-U-N-C-O. And then, of course, it's got the Latin name, and I can't even begin to pronounce that. Junco, I think it is. I may be wrong, though. Anyway, let's see any of those. 1926, Gainer, summer birds. Another bird of the higher altitudes which held my interest was the Carolina junco, commonly called snowbird. 1943, Stumpka. Through the year, the Carolina juncos, snowbirds, may be incubating eggs under a snow-covered canopy of rootlet and dried plant remains. So just a little bird. I've never heard the Carolina saying, as you can say, because I can't say the last part of it. But snowbirds is very, very familiar for the both of us. And I love to see them if they gather in the snow and then they take off. Yeah, they're so pretty. Snow cream, that's something we love. Been a long time since we had any snow cream.
Enough snow to make
snow
cream.
It's been a long time. Although Corie's eggnog.
I was going to say, you guys start drinking your eggnog over there.
It's reminiscent of a snow cream just because it's like a vanilla milkshake kind of.
It is kind of like a milkshake.
And the nutmeg, Corie puts nutmeg in, it's really good.
I've discovered I love nutmeg.
I like nutmeg. I like it. Okay, so what do they say about it? 1956, Some Dial was the name of the book. Snow mixed with milk and sugar. 1960, Wilson Collection, Snow Cream, sugar and milk added to snow to form a backcountry ice cream. 2009, let's see, Upheaval. He asked if anybody had ever eaten snow cream, where you take snow and mix it with sugar and whole cream and eat it while it still froze. I love snow cream. Reminds me of being a little girl. Granny would let us make it if it snowed a lot and we were out sledding, and then when we come in, and she would mix like evaporated milk cream with it and sugar and maybe a little vanilla. It was good. after I was grown, I found out some people make chocolate snow cream, different flavors, all different things. So that's interesting. But lots of memories, childhood memories tied to that for me. I do remember my Mama Marie, she died when I was really young, but I can remember one time when it snowed, her taking me outside to show me the snow. And she told me it was the first snow of the season and that I shouldn't eat it because it was poison. We'd have to wait for the next snow to make snow cream. And I think that's a common piece of folklore from the mountains of Appalachia, is that the first snow is dirty, you shouldn't eat it. And of course there's lots of people today that believe you shouldn't eat any snow, that all of it is, you know, from chemicals and different things. Yeah, that you shouldn't eat it. Snow tourist is a winter tourist in the mountains, especially one who comes only to ski. 1997, Andrews, Mountain Victuals. Of course, in recent years, with the ski resort and snow tourists and all, we keep our roads passable all the time. So we don't have those kind of tourists here because we don't have no skiing. I guess Maggie Valley, Boone area, and then on up into the other states of Appalachia, there would be that kind of tourist that comes in the winter to actually ski. I've never been skiing. Have you, Corie?
No, I've never been skiing, but when we went to Michigan, when Katie and I traveled to Michigan, we went to around like Traverse City, Harbor Springs, up not that far from Lake Michigan, and there was a ski like lodge close to where we were at, and the people we were staying with just drove us by there, and we stood and watched people ski, and you could see the big chairlift going up the mountain and see them skiing down, and it was really cool.
Yeah. Lots of skiers there.
That was really neat.
I think if I knew how, I would like it because I love to sled. So I think that'd be a wonderful sensation to ski along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be very good at it.
No, I'm sure you'd have to take a lot of practice.
We did go snowshoeing though. I did that.
Yeah, probably.
And you have to know what you're doing to snowshoe. I kept stepping on my big shoes and falling.
There's one more entry in here for snow. It's snow water. See, not to give snow water to. So we'll go back to that. So let's see if we can find it. I really like this one. I've read it before in here. Let's see. Okay, not to give snow water to. It's a verb phrase. To pay no attention to or treat with disdain. So 1942, Campbell, cloud walking. Draxie and Mort were a sight to humor Lexi, so they give in to be at the singing, though they wouldn't give snow water to shy Isaacs. And then another page, or another in that same book, 234, they weren't nary girl amongst them I'd give snow water to, say nothing of setting up to spark 'em. So that's interesting. You wouldn't give snow water to. So that's somebody you didn't like or didn't want to be friends with. Interesting. So the only two that's in the Dictionary Smoky Mountain English that's not in this one, there's two, and it's snow on the mountain. And I wonder, plants, so many people call plants by different names, but what I call snow on the mountain is a little, like a perennial little, it's not really, it does flower, but it's not like a really pretty bloom. But you know, Corie, it grows right out here and then at Granny's house, but in the front too, it's like a variegated little leaf.
Green
and white, yeah, yeah. So that's what Granny calls snow on the mountain. Other people might call something else that, but that's what she always called that, snow on the mountain. And it's just a little like flowering plant. So, and then the other one was, I really would like to see this one, is a snowdrop tree, and it said same as fringe bush or old man's beard. So maybe they call it there and call it one of those where you live. But it said it was bushy. A bushy little tree with white flowers on it, on long stems. The white flowers were on long stems, and then it had dark purple berries. So you can see why with the white and the dark purple, I guess it would remind you of Christmas. But I've never seen one of those or don't know what it is. I need to search and see if I can find one online to see.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. That's what the dictionary had to say about snow. What does snow make you think of, Corie? Even our little skiff of snow.
Just makes me think of sledding as a kid and going up the creek, and mostly that. Sometimes it makes me think of Christmas, but mostly just of past snows when I was a kid and getting to be in the snow, and it's cozy, and it usually means we got a fire in the stove.
Yeah.
And
when I worked at the college and Corie and Katie was still in high school, and it would snow, and it seemed like had a few years there where we had quite a bit of snow. And every time, if they got out of school, I got out of school. I mean, it was the same, you know, because I worked at a college. And you remember, Corie, I would say, use this as a gift to get ahead on your homework. Go out and play, but use it as a gift. And I would say that to myself, too, thinking about I could get ahead on the blind pig and the acorn or whatever, and then make my life easier when we actually went back, having those unexpected days off. And that's one thing people who live in areas like we do, they understand it. If it does come a big snow, everything kind of stops. And I'm thankful for the people when everything stops that still has to be out there, whether it's, you know, thinking about people who work for the electric company or, of course, the EMS and the police and all those kind of people. I'm really, and hospital workers, I'm thankful for them. They don't get to sit home like we do. But that's one thing why it's so nice, is because it kind of gives you an unexpected little vacation, even if it's just a day.
Yeah, for sure, especially growing up in school or even work in the past when I worked at places when you couldn't go. It just, especially on a weekday, it's just kind of a surprise. And especially here where we live, because we don't get a lot of snow. It's not like we have a lot of snow plows and a lot of salt trucks and that kind of stuff. So we get just a tiny snow like this, and everyone just has to basically shut everything down because there's just not the equipment to clear it like there would be in a big city.
And the other thing is, too, in 2 days, it'll be gone. So there's no, it's kind of easier to say, well, let's just kind of slow down and let it melt on its own instead of like buying extra equipment that we might not even use on some winters. Like last winter, I don't think it snowed any. Maybe a little skiff once or twice, but not much. And this year so far, it's not. This has been a nice little pretty skiff today, especially since it's just after Christmas. But typically our biggest snows would come in February and January.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll still get a big snow, get to hike around in it, and get enough to make a snowman.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be fun. You remember one of your snowwomen that y'all made? One, Patricia. Y'all talked about her for a long time. And that was actually, what was we saying the other day, the Christmas that it snowed? 2010 or 2011? I can't remember. A big snow. And that was when you and Katie and April made her. Patricia.
Yeah, I just in the backyard.
Yeah. You stuck like dried hydrangeas in top of her head for her hair.
Use like a milk jug lid or some kind of little lid like that.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been a long time since anybody made a snowman here, so that would be fun. If it snows, let's make a pact.
Let's make a pact. Snowman.
If it snows enough, it'd be really hard with this snow.
Yeah.
When you were little, you'd probably tried it though.
Yeah.
Y'all would have made when it's a snow like this and the girls were little, they would try and it'd end up being like about this big and kind of misshapen.
Yeah.
And sticks and leaves sticking out of all of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We still would have had fun, though.
Oh, yeah. Lots of fun. You didn't throw snowballs as much, though.
Oh, I don't like being hit.
Yeah.
It goes down the back of your collar and it's so cold.
Yeah, so cold. That's more your daddy's, what he would like to do. Yeah, more what he would be into is throwing the snowballs.
Yeah.
Putting snow down the back of your coat. Thinking he was being funny.
Yeah, freezing me to death.
Yeah. Well, we hope you enjoyed stogging around in the snow, like the little skiff of snow that we got, and listening to all these snow terms from the Dictionary of Southern Appalachian English. If you have any to add, please leave a comment and add them, or any comments to say about the ones that we read. And as always, we hope you'll drop back by often to help us celebrate Appalachia.
That's good. Are you sweating?
Yeah.
No. But the side of my face is kind of getting hot. Feels good though.
Man, this is good.
I drank all mine.
You want a little sup of mine?
Nah, I've already had too much probably. It's so good though.
Frothy egg whites.
Yeah. I'm like, why don't I make that more often?
I don't know.
I didn't think I had ever made it until I made it this time, and then you reminded me, and I was like, oh, I guess
you can
that's
see
right.
that's your hands in my picture of the blind pig and the acorn.
I first looked, thought it was Katie's, and then when I looked the next day, I was like,
I don't know why. I mean, I've heard of eggnog my whole life, but I don't know why I just never, maybe I thought it was gross, I wouldn't like it, but I never tasted it until you, I don't remember where you tasted it, but you liked it, and it was probably just whatever you can buy in a grocery store.
Yep.
And then, so you got me to start buying it at Christmas.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, why don't we make it? We should just make it. And we did. And it seems like maybe we made it for a year or two, and then we just quit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny
Yeah.
how you do stuff like that you forget about. And then,
I know, and then years and years. Like, this is the first Christmas I've had eggnog since I was probably like
what did
15.
we looked on that? Was that like 2013 or something? So I wonder maybe you'd been to some Christmas party
Or
at school.
Papa
or
and Nana might
Papa
have had
and
a
Nana
card.
might have had it.
I think
yeah.
that's because I can remember.
I think Nana used to buy it.
I can remember seeing it. The brand Southern Comfort made it and sold it in a carton, but there was no alcohol in it.
Oh no.
But Southern Comfort is a
Yeah.
like liquor brand, I
Yeah.
think. But
Yeah. Now we're teetotalers. We don't put.
yeah.
But if you bought it at the dairy department
Yeah.
at a grocery store, you couldn't have.
No.
Anyway.
I couldn't imagine having alcohol in it.
Well,
That'd be so nasty.
for some people, they like it. It's not our thing. But anyway, we need to start making it every year.
Oh yeah.
Now that float that I make,
That's
I make it
similar.
usually in the summer. It tastes just pretty much like it, except for the nutmeg.
Nutmeg is missing.
But a lot of people, when I wrote about it on the Blind Pig and Acorn, and when I did that video, a lot of people said they made it at Christmas. And it might even be Sydney Sailor Farr in her More Than Moonshine says that her dad would make it with the first big snow. That was like his tradition. And then he would take the bowl or whatever he made it in outside and set it in the snow, and that's how he chilled it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, so lots of memories tied to those. Again, like sweet treats, like at Christmas or something.
Oh yeah. And it's so easy to make it, even if you didn't want to fluff the egg whites and fold it back in. Even if you just wanted to do the milk, the cream, and nutmeg and sugar on the stove, that's it.
Yeah, and how could that not be good?
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Oh yeah. You could do I guarantee you, if you wanted to do use almond milk instead of
You probably
regular,
could,
you know,
if you don't want to use whole milk.
something like that.
Man, what would be good if you had some real milk?
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, fresh
that would
milk.
be good. And you could use organic ingredients and make it all pretty
You could, yeah.
fairly healthy too if you want. I mean, that'd be pretty.
Yeah, it'd be like
easy.
a treat.
Yeah. Of course, organic milk's incredibly expensive.
Oh, it's so
but
expensive. We need to go over that place in Blairsville, too, and see if we can get some
yeah.
We just never have made it over there.
No, that's been on our list and we ain't never done it. We need to make a list of things like that we want to do in
Yeah,
2023.
right.
That
That
sounds
could be one
crazy
of our,
stuff.
I know, be one of our things.
Yeah, and then maybe even just a sign. That's one thing I want to do this year. I hadn't really sat down yet, but I want to sit down and just kind of write down things I would like to accomplish in 2023. And I was thinking about, as I was doing that, maybe I would just pick those things and just assign them to a month in my calendar and just say,
you could do that.
Maybe.
I usually do that on the Blind Pig and Acorn as far as the blog, not like personal things, but what I want to accomplish. And I share what I wanted to accomplish last year and say what I failed at. I already know what I failed at this year. I did pretty good at it the year before, but was getting all of y'all to write more blog posts.
Oh, yeah.
And this year I just didn't somehow do it. I don't even know if maybe you wrote one, and that's probably about it, about getting married.
Yeah.
I probably didn't get Katie to write any, or your daddy.
I want to set some personal goals, but mostly like business
Yeah.
things. Like I'd love to just clean. I hadn't made soap in a month. Clean out everything and
Yeah.
do stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, you ready to go eat dinner?
Yeah.
Were we eating leftovers?
Leftovers for days.
That's a good thing, though.
We either got Christmas leftovers or chili. It's a hard toss-up because I like them both.
Yeah, deer chili.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I eat a big bowl of deer chili after sitting by this, I'll be wanting to go take a nap.
And all that eggnog, I'll just be
Yeah.
zombified.
Well, let's go figure something out.
Let's do it. I've not even ate yet.